All right, we're on. We're on. Air EnB live.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. I'm Rowdy B. Out here, we got Swaggy E out in the Bay. What's going on, Swaggy?
What's up, man? Yeah. We got improved lighting today. It's good. I got a great week of sports to talk about, man. I'm so excited to talk about this week.
I know, man. I know. And I'm glad. I'm so glad that we're both rocking by mistake the Oakland. San Francisco and Oakland we got going on today, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's Bay Area in the building, man. I think it's going to be the Raiders' last season here, but they might have one more season in Oakland, but we can consider them a Bay Area team until now, right?
Yeah. And you know, they didn't make the move yet, but when they do, I already told you I got to come out there. And I see you got a new background right now, man.
I got a little, a little new background, a little IKEA piece. It's it's kind of how me and my fiance roll. We travel worldwide, so we got a little world map, if you will. We need to get some tax on there to the places we've been to, but
that's true. Yeah, you need that. And for those who don't know, this dude Swaggy E, he didn't just get his name by self-appointing, okay? This dude can travel. I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this. But you know what? Let's get straight into it. Now, first, this is a first time on the show, and because I'm a straight up person, we're gonna do it like this, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, because I'm a straight up person. There was a comment left on the now infamous Mahomes versus Eli video,
which I think I won, right? But yeah. Okay.
This is a delusional man over here. So the comment made was that Eli Manning was not as good as Patrick Mahomes. Was that correct?
Correct.
Okay, it was a comment that almost made me shut down the broadcast. Now, there was a comment by a Homer Chiefs fan, some clown, left a comment. Now, I'm going to get this comment up and then I'll read it, okay? So it's the first time we're screen sharing on the show. But you know what? I want to say this too. I didn't want to just comment back to the guy because I'm a straight up person. I'm a straight shooter, okay? So I'll do it on the video and I'll do it now. So this was the comment. Let's make sure this comes out right because I'm screen sharing for the first time, okay? And then we'll get into this Chiefs dude. All right? All right, so let's see here. Okay. All right, so is it on? Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. So this guy here, Real Chiefs Talk, okay, claims that we are a troll. Okay, we were trolling, which I'm a grown man. I don't troll, okay? I have better things to do with my time. And Earl, I'm going to flip it to you. I know you do as well, correct?
My brother, we don't have time to troll. We take time out of our busy week to kind of put this show together. This is not a trolling show. We talk sports. We talk reality. We don't do trolling. We don't do preemptive skits, if you will. So Real Chiefs Talk, you're wrong on this one.
Which is also why I dislike Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith show, because it was contrived and obviously choreographed. You take this side, you take that side. So let me read it. Mahomes is being compared to greats like Brady, Peyton Manning, and Rodgers. Eli is not even on those three level. Nice troll video for clickbait. I only clicked to see if it was real. I mean, you can see it. You see it's real. It's not fake. Okay. So he goes, I only clicked to see if it was real, but now that I see you guys are serious, I'm not going to pick on the mentally challenged. And I wasn't referring to Eli with that mental comment. Just FYI. Okay. And had the nerve to say that we are mentally challenged. That's enough for real Chiefs talk. Now, as I flip it to me, I hope I can get it. There we go. Okay. Let me say something to you, you clown. Okay.
Clapback session. Clapback session. All right.
He's about to get a dose of Rowdy B. Okay. We do not even discuss the topics in this show. Okay. We don't get into it. Okay. There is maybe one or two instances where we will text each other and say, whoa, did you see that? Or whoa, did you see this? And that's it. Okay. We don't sit there and say, hey, you know what? Let's try to get clicks and views. And so let's have you say something crazy and I'll react to it. Okay. As much as I love Stephen A. Smith, that's what him and what's that fool, Skip Bayless, and the new one who I like because he's a great boxing announcer in
Max Kellerman.
How could I forget? But he runs on and on and on, Kellerman. But it's just, we don't do that here. I didn't know that Earl was going to make a ludicrous statement that Eli, I'm going to flip it to you, that Eli is not as good as Patrick Mahomes, okay? I didn't know he was going to say that, all right? And you know what? Looking at this, and I don't want to waste a lot of time on this complete idiot, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
But I clicked on but what annoyed me was not the fact of your opinion. I love different opinions. I'm glad you have a different opinion. I'm glad you're some homer that thinks that Patrick Mahomes is just as good as Peyton Manning or what have you. Or what about last Monday night? Did you think Patrick Mahomes was just as good as Peyton or Rodgers or Brady? No, because he didn't have time to throw, which is what Eli doesn't have right now, which is why Eli is a mere mortal as we watch him every week. It's an organization trying to kick him out because they need to rebuild. Okay. But I'll tell you what, when Mahomes has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, which only 5 quarterbacks in the history of the sport have, then you come talk to me and say that for a fact I'm mentally challenged or because I'm saying that he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes. All right. But I click on this fool's videos. Now, I didn't click into it. As he said, I didn't click into his videos. I just
let's not give him too much props right now. We don't want to spend too much time.
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
I will say this: he's got a lot of knuckleheads and ignorant fools looking at his videos because he's got way more subscribers and way more views. So I'll give you that, real Chiefs fan or whatever. This guy is just an ignoramus on the video. I didn't click. I just scrolled down to see the videos. This guy is drinking 40 ounces of old English malt liquor.
Who?
He smoked.
What? 2018?
This is a grown man drinking 40s of malt liquor of OE. Okay. And what else are you doing? Are you smoking cigarettes on there? Okay, that's neither here nor there. I don't know what his place smells like after that. After malt liquor and Newports, allegedly. I don't know, but the other thing I saw, which he's doing on video, and once again, it's not legal in his state, and allegedly, I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but on a couple of his videos, he's smoking, a thinly wrapped brown cigar. You can come to your own conclusions, but he's smoking things and drinking OE on his video.
Okay.
And he's a grown man.
So we're talking about somebody that we shouldn't be paying too much attention to, because any grown man drinking OE at this point voluntarily, we're not going to waste too much time on.
That's what you do when you're 17. Hey, you got a quarter? Hey, you got a quarter? You got some? Okay, let's get $2 a bottle. We got 5 people drinking on a bottle. That's what you do. Okay, that's when you have. That's when you drink OE. Okay. All right. Okay. You're. So let's move on. But once again, it was. What offended me I don't care what he does in his personal time and what his crib smells like. I don't care. That's up to him. All right. My issue was the fact that you have the nerve to say that we actually plan this stuff out and troll to get likes and to get views. Okay. Now, speaking of the Chiefs, because we're going to move on, Kareem Hunt situation, as I get it loaded up. Okay. I want you to speak your thoughts on the video.
So, as you pull this video up, man, I just want to address the situation. I'm going to tell you this. If there's a video out there for you football players, you basketball players, people in general, it's trouble for you guys right now, okay? I will tell you this. Clark Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, was standing behind Kareem Hunt until that video came out from TMZ Sport, as we look at it as it's being pulled up on the screen right now. So what I will say is that this video isn't as damning as the Ray Rice video was when, unfortunately, and you know me, and I know you as well too, when we were Shell homers, we always refer the Rices, right? We love Ray Rice, but that video, man, it's graphic and it's just like we can't support it. So we take a look at this video here right now. Realize the timing of this. This is about 3:32 a.m. I will promise you, and
nothing good happens, right?
Herm Edwards, I think, was a proponent of this, right? Nothing good happens after midnight, okay? So we're taking a look at this. We're talking about an NFL player with his strength trying to be held back by 3 or 4 people.
You got women too.
Women.
And let me just say, this is copyright of TMZ Sports on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yep. What I would say is that you're talking about 3 or 4 people who are normal, non-NFL players trying to hold back a guy that this is what he does. He drags players, grown men, muscled men who are geared to tackle you. Okay. And so you're looking at this video right now and you're saying, look, like, this is an out of control scene.
Alcohol is not an excuse here, period. Okay, same thing with the Ray Rice video, and once again, and that was the part that got me right there, where he kicked the girl. That was the part that got me. That was unbelievable, and he went ahead and kicked her while she was down on top of, just what you said, just charging through, and he just barreled and pushed through the guy and the girl. And that video was disgusting. He was now this is not in his defense, but this is just what the woman did wrong. Okay, I don't know what else she said, but enough people there have documented that she called him the N-word. Okay, so that's probably what got him so fired up at that moment right there.
Can I respond to that?
Of course. Camera's on you. Go ahead.
Okay. I understand the ugliness of this word. I'm not absolving anybody that decides to use that word in that moment, in that heat of the moment. Again, you have to think about what an NFL player has to lose compared to a 19-year-old woman. She was 19 years old, realized at that point, okay? So she probably shouldn't have been drunk at that point as well too. But I'm assuming that she was drunk. Besides that, you have to understand that, like, that's just not something that you can do because you have a lot to lose. The cameras. Look, this happened in February. My man, it's about to be December tomorrow.
NFL cover up.
So no, I won't go as far as to say that because I don't have any sources to tell me that. But what I will tell you this is. Okay, so you go ahead and say that, Rowdy. But what I'm saying is, I'm telling you that's just not something we can condone. And when the video came out, it's just like, the owner of the Chiefs, Clark Hunt, or the CEO, said that, he believed him and all this other stuff. When the video comes out, you really can't do much. And, we didn't talk about this, but when you think about the Reuben Foster situation, the linebacker that was released by the 49ers just last Sunday and was picked up by the Redskins on Tuesday, okay? Or excuse me, Wednesday. You're not even talking about 3 days that this guy was released, okay? This guy was released, and then all of a sudden the Redskins are the only team to go ahead and claim this guy off waivers. I'm sorry, it just sends the wrong message. And I think it's one of those things where it's like the Redskins, they have egg on their face again. If you want to talk about Redskins being a racist term, we can talk about that because there's probably some validity to it. If you're going to tell me that you're going to create a new team in this day and age, in 2018, you're going to name them the Redskins, that's not going to fly, right? So you're talking about a team that walks on taboos. Reuben Foster, to me, in my eyes, should not have been picked up by any team this year, probably nor and next year as well too.
He's young. He's young. That's why he's young. And that's why the Cowboys picked up Hardy. Hardy threw his girlfriend or whatever she was to him on a couch full of loaded machine guns. Mm-hmm. Okay. He and I'm saying this because he was found guilty on this, so I can say this. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't need to say allegedly. Okay, He put her head in a toilet and was slamming the lid down. Okay,
I didn't know that. That's true.
Oh yeah. Now, this is what got Hardy off. Okay, in North Carolina, if you are found guilty, I don't know of what particular crime, but if you are found guilty, and I don't know if this goes for all crimes, okay, but if you're found guilty and you appeal the guilty verdict, if the plaintiff does not show up, you are then found innocent, even though you were previously found guilty. So what happened? What most likely happened, and she didn't show up. Okay. She disappeared.
And can I mention one thing in the Reuben Foster situation?
Go ahead.
This is a young man that's had the history of domestic violence in situations, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember when he was, I'm going to put the air quotes on here, falsely accused of, hitting his girlfriend previously? That's the same girl. We're talking about the same woman, and we're talking about you brought her on a road trip supposedly, and this girl, she dropped the charges because she said she falsely accused him and she was trying to get money. So let me get this right. So you're telling me that Reuben Foster was going to bring this woman on a road trip to say, and this is a girl that she falsely accused you of hitting her for domestic violence, and all of a sudden you just have her in your hotel room, months down the road. I want to say this. Brandon. I want to say this for all the men that are listening to this. 99.9% of the women that say they've been hit or there's some kind of domestic violence or some kind of weird stuff that's happening, whether it's sexual violence, whatever, they're probably telling the truth. They are probably telling the truth because it's just like, you think about it, it's just like, why would anybody come out public with this stuff? So I will say this: those previous charges were dropped, but I knew that there was something there. So the fact that you still have you're hanging around the same girl, and you do the same thing again, you're supposedly putting your hands on her. I don't know. Maybe there's alcohol involved, which you said is not an excuse. But the point of the matter is, this guy has gone over and violated the trust of the 49ers, and then the Redskins go ahead and pick him up. I think that's disgusting. And I'm sorry. I just can't support the Redskins brand right now.
Listen, I agree with your opinion. But the point is, just like with Hardy, the previous season with the Panthers, he had a good season. So because he was still young and productive, people are going to take a chance on him. And Jerry Jones, everybody deserves a second chance. You think if that guy was 30, coming off a bad season, that he would take a chance? Oh, no, that guy would never work in my organization.
No. What's different?
Hold on.
Okay. No, wait. I'm going to say this. If there was a video of Greg Hardy doing it, he wouldn't be in the league.
Oh, my gosh. Great point. I shouldn't even have stopped you.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say, Rowdy. That's all I wanted to
say. That's how much you bring to the show. Well, listen, that's why you're here. That was such a great point right there. You're absolutely right. And with the Ray Rice situation, Ray Rice was a declining running back, okay, who was also injured. Okay, so to all the NFL owners, when that video came out, he was not worth the risk. That you have a risk to reward.
Mm-hmm.
Declining player, running back 28 or 29 at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. No, it wasn't even 5 years ago. Let me see. Because Ray.
When did they win the chip? They won the chip about 4 years ago, right? Because that was when I first. I'll say 5 years.
2013. They won in 2013. Okay. It happened. This had to happen in what, 2015? Because he had a declining season. And then it happened. Sorry, I don't, I'm assuming it was 2015. Right? Once again, and this was after an injury plague season. He's just happy that he got that signing bonus. Else he would be hurting for money. Unfortunately.
You know what I want to say is honestly,
unfortunately for the family.
Yes, for the family. I agree, and I know he's back out there on the East Coast, and I don't want to talk about Ray, and I think he's back out there in like CT. He's training.
Why didn't you? No. He's with the Newark High School team. They went to the state finals against Syracuse. They lost last Saturday or whatever it was. I forgot the name of the team or whatever. It doesn't matter. But they kind of got the doors blown off of them. But they were, they whipped everybody up until that game. And they lost in the Carrier Dome. But Ray was there. He's one of the coaches with Coach DiRienzo. And let me tell you, because I knew DiRienzo when I was there, and every time I see him, I say hi to him, and he remembered. Coach D, as he was affectionately called, is an excellent high school football coach. Okay. I'm not saying that it was his teachings that got Ray Rice that good. Ray was just magnificent. But
Ray was on varsity by the time he was in freshman of high school.
No, right?
I think so.
I think you're really? But starting running back?
I didn't say starting, but he was on the varsity squad. That's the difference.
Wow, well, that's still amazing regardless. Yeah.
Especially how Newer Show works.
Yeah. All right. Well. Anyway, this is let's move on. But what I was going to say with the Ray thing was, they screwed it up, and since then it has, because what's funny? I read the report, and I'm like, okay, he was with his fiance, and then she's out cold. He had to have hit her. And that's what made her out cold. And then when they came down with the ruling, whatever it was, what was it? It was 3 games or 4 games?
I want to say it was either 2 to 3 games.
And I said, oh, wait a second. That's all he got? Wow. And I just brushed it. I was like, wow, I guess they're still they don't care when it comes to their domestic violence. They still, have a low, they still have a low tolerance for it, whatever. And they just boom. And then the video came out, and NFL acted all stupid, like they had no idea. Then they were able to place the videotape in the building. Remember that when Lidell was lying, and then Ray Rice got railroaded. And but since then, okay, listen, Ray explained the details to Roger Goodell. He was honest about everything, but Goodell, all right, listen, give it to you, whatever, And then when that disgusting video of him punching her twice and her getting knocked out, and then the dragging of a lifeless body at that, that's what, that outcry led to, okay, wait, now it's whatever the game suspension they wanted to add to. It's like, wait a second, you already made a ruling. But since then, they now have a 0 tolerance. And Kareem Hunt is now let go by the Chiefs. That is incredible. For a young performer of his magnitude.
Yeah. And I got 2 points in this. I'll tell you this. I'm thinking out loud with this point. I wonder if the NFL came down with a 1-year suspension, would Ray Rice still be in this league after that? Because wouldn't you feel like a 1-year suspension would have been a little bit of like, that would have worked. And, instead it's like they
1 year would have been harsh. That would have been harsh.
I understand that, but it would have been setting an example. And the problem was that they didn't have that in the player's manual in terms of the guidelines, in terms of like what domestic violence constitutes in terms of suspensions. Yeah. But beyond that, what I would say is that I like I said, I've thought about it many years, and he's way past that. But it's like, man, if they would have suspended him 1 season, would he have played another couple of seasons after that?
Of course he would have. Of course he would have. Listen, 8 games would have did it. I thought 8 games would have been fair. But they, they chose to go light, and then he got railroaded completely.
The video, man, the video is that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I promise you, if Reuben Foster had a video right now, he wouldn't play in the NFL right now. I promise you that.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And even so, I still think with half a season, Ray would have been able to play afterwards. I still think, first of all, he would still been on the Ravens. Okay, they cut him, and he sued them for cutting him unjustly, and he won like 1.4 million. Okay, so yeah, but so if it's $15 million signing bonus, he's good. But the Ravens unjustly cut him, because they cut him after that, after the video became public. But he explained to them what he did as well. So anyway, point of the matter is Ray Rice has now set a precedent for all future. That incident is set up the future of NFL disciplines for domestic violence. And now we're in the hashtag Me Too campaign. Forget about it, man. Are you crazy? But did I think that the Chiefs were going to let go of Kareem Hunt? No. And you know what? If Ray Rice was 25 or 24, would he have been let go? Of course not. Of course not. He all makes mistakes. We got him in counseling. See you next season. That'd been it. See you this season, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, we're going to move off this topic, but I just last comment on this, but I look at this and it's like, man, Kareem Hunt is a premier running back in this league. The Chiefs took a stand with this release.
You're right.
Point blank. We don't have to discuss that any further. I think we both agree on that. It is what it is. It's very black and white, right? It's like Kareem Hunt is a top, let's say 5 cast patching running back and a running back in general out of the backfield. Maybe he wasn't
a bad boy.
Yeah, that's a bad boy, as Stephen A would say. Bad man. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs took a stand, and I appreciate it. It is what it is. It's putting people on attention. It's like, you can't do this. You cannot do this anymore. This is your livelihood. And I think that's why I have an issue with the Redskins signing Reuben Foster, because they're telling you, we're going to wait for the legal process to figure itself out. I think that's BS. And I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and you're right. The Chiefs took a stand today, man. They said, and listen, put it to you like this: at 3 p.m., did you think Kareem Hunt would be a free agent?
No, and I'm curious to see what team signs him.
Oh, somebody's going to sign him. Somebody's going to sign him. I'm not saying this season, but when this blows over, what's gonna save him is that she called him the N-word. Listen, people are going to be sympathetic to that. I'm telling you right now. People are going to be sympathetic to that. That's
going to be a game of he said, she said. So I'm not going to argue that right now.
What's going to outweigh that? Listen, I didn't say I agree with it, but what's going to outweigh it? And we're agreeing a lot today, man.
I get it.
What's going on here? What's going on here? But
I don't know.
But you know what? I'll say this. Because of his age and ability, it's foolish to think he's not going to be back. You think this guy is like next year he will be on a squad. It won't be the Giants. It won't be the Chiefs. It won't, it won't be it definitely won't be San Francisco, but Dallas may take a flyer at him.
I don't think Dallas.
I'm sorry. That's a bad example. Because
Houston, I'll give you a couple of teams right now. Houston, New York Jets, and
you think the Jets? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, they need a running back pretty bad.
Yeah, but no. But are you going there though? Are you gonna go there?
I'm not, but they need to go somewhere.
Well, hey, look, they did take Michael Vick, right? That was a bad situation too.
I felt like Michael Vick rehabilitated his situation, but there was definitely a fringe crowd that was a little outraged with what he did. And understandably so. I'm an animal owner. I get it. I would never condone what he did, but I will never condone, especially a black man. I understand like what the relationship in America is. It's tough for me to kind of, it's a horrible expression, throw him to the dog, so to speak. But the point of the matter, it's a low blow. But the point of the matter is, he did his time. I felt like he's very contrite in terms of his rehabilitation. And in this point, I think he's really done a good job of really understanding the veracity of what he did.
Yeah. No, you're right. Listen, the guy did jail time, okay? And the animal rights community loves him because he's been a love is a strong word, but he's been a spokesperson and has donated money and has did a live speak. I heard, I don't know what organizations it was, but this was even 2 years after the incident. He was still speaking and
many years after.
It was okay.
Oh yeah.
So even better. And I heard these organizations stand and saw them stand right next to him and say that, listen, what he did was ugly. And it was because I had somebody that said to me that it's that's just the culture down there. No, there's a difference between right and wrong. You don't fight dogs. And you know what? What's also kind of just thrown under the rug is the I'm hearing feedback, by the way, Earl. We may have to go headphoneless. I'm hearing myself.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm hearing myself. Man, just do what we did last week with you didn't have the headphones on. You still come through clear. You have a better sound system than I do.
Yes, I do.
Because Dr. Dre was, who's out there in LA, helped set up your system. So that's why you're good. So
Dr. Dre, man.
That's why you're good, man.
Andre Young, what up?
But yeah, it's the difference between right and wrong and the graphic stuff about what they did after, like the dogs lost and all that and electrocution. Horrible. All right. So let's move on to some, let's move on to how about an electrifying Cowboys defense yesterday. How about that? So that's the game that we can't do picks for. We're about to do the NFL picks, but how 13-10? So Swaggy 13-10?
I was not expecting that score. I'll tell you this, but what I will tell you, right? Jerry Jones has actually been picking very well the last 3 years, and he's actually been picking a lot of guys that would, I'm gonna take a college term here, but redshirting a couple of guys, right? He picked the linebacker up from Notre Dame, Jalen Smith. He had a horrific injury in the bowl game about 3 years ago, and they almost redshirted him about a year and a half ago. We're talking about a linebacking core that the Cowboys have been able to develop. That's probably one of the best linebacking units in the league. So again, was I expecting this? No, but I think if the Cowboys played to the best of their ability, we're talking about a team that ideally. And I hate to say ideally because we don't support the boys, but Giants all day. But what I'm saying is that currently, as the Giants are out of this, I think the Eagles definitely have a good enough defense, and I think their quarterback is better than Dak Prescott, so they can definitely give the Cowboys a run for their money. But what I think, honestly, at the end of the day, that it's like the team is starting to play together, and the defense in particular, to me, is the unit, especially the defensive line and the front seven. We'll call it the front seven. The front seven of the Cowboys are playing tremendous. And I think about a unit that's overplaying their value is the defense. And what they're doing is that they're being smart about what their offense is. It's like play action pass. You need to get Ezekiel Elliott going because the play action pass opens a lot for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, they know what Prescott is. They know what he is. They know that third and long. Okay, Prescott was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Okay, they know that. And so they know they have to. And in the game yesterday, they had to establish the run. You have to take the ball out of Drew Brees' hand. Okay, so they went with a lot of running. They controlled it. They controlled the game. And you know what? They don't even have a healthy Sean Lee. And they still was doing this. But I'll tell you what, Miller on the line, that offensive line, come on now. And the Saints were, I mean, I've never seen, first of all, the Saints with, only one loss on the season, okay? They looked absolutely confused. They looked like, what's going on? Almost like Dallas had the playbook on them. And you could even hear, the announcers last night saying, okay, well, if they don't score on this possession or they don't get a first down here, that's going to be the first time this year. If they don't do this, this is going to be the first time this year. This is the first time they've trailed this year at this point. And again, it was what the Cowboys did was absolutely magnificent. And I was absolutely, now listen, I am a Cowboys hater. Okay. I sit back and hate on the Cowboys. Okay. So I was going Saints heavy and rooting against them as I always do. And I could not believe how well they played. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those scary things when you think about like when teams start clicking, right? Mm-hmm. I'll say that at the beginning of the season, man, there was no team better than the Saints, right? Besides the Rams and a few other players, okay? But when you look at it right now, it's like this is when these teams get hot and they make a run for the Super Bowl. And I am not ready to anoint the Dallas Cowboys as that's a little heat for you guys on Friday. Fire! I'm not ready to anoint them as I'm not really ready to anoint them as Super Bowl champions or a heavy playoff contender, but I like what they're doing and it's smart. Okay. I felt like they gave up a lot for Amari Cooper, but they recognize what their team is, and they needed a guy that was proper on the route running, and they needed a guy that was going to be able to work himself open. And Amari Cooper is that guy.
Hold up though. We can't do that now because last show we said that we thought they paid way too much, and I thought so too.
They still pay way too much.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Sticking to it.
We're sticking to it. I'm not going back.
I know I am. Yeah.
The point of the matter is, you pay a little too much draft capital for somebody. It's fine, but the point of the matter is that at the end of the day, you got to get guys that work for your team. And I love Dez for what he was, but I felt like Dak Prescott was working. He was trying to force the ball too much to Dak, and he wasn't kind of free flowing in kind of the way he was doing. Yeah. You can give me that. You can give me that look all you want. But what I'm saying is that
no. I was giving you that look because you said force the ball to Dak. I think
Dez, excuse me. Dak was forcing the ball to Dez.
Oh, I agree with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that happens with any great quarterback. Sometimes you get a great receiver. For instance, slight side note, Big Ben to Antonio Brown, right? You look at it.
Even better is Matt Ryan to Julio.
Right.
Man, does he force it in there? But
one more, teams, Matt Stafford to Calvin Johnson.
Oh gosh, yeah. And you know what? But the other the teams are recognizing it, and that's why Julio, I think, only has one touchdown on the season because they're recognizing it.
I think he has 3 now, but yeah, I think at one point he definitely had one going through week 6. So
yeah, because
he was still being productive. He was productive.
Yes.
He wasn't a touchdown scoring machine.
Because when he got it was a sarcastic celebration. So that's why. So that's that's why I remembered. So it was only a couple games ago or whatnot. But you know what? Let's dive into the picks here. All right. Okay. So once again, we're doing the spread. All right. And you know what? Because I whipped it on you last time, we're not gonna go, but there was that one game that I joked at you about. I'm gonna have to look back. Was it the Denver game?
Yeah.
The Denver game, you lost that one.
Did I lose that one?
Remember, it was unbelievable that they won that game, and they were, and that was the biggest favorite, and I went against it because I was saying I like to do that every once in a while, I don't know, we got to look back, but it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 2 football weeks later, Let's do it. And once again, listen, last one was a mulligan. This is all right. This is for real now. Okay,
this is real talk right here.
It's for real talk. Okay. And I thought of we'll announce it maybe later down the line. Okay. And I'm going to hit it with you on air because once again, we don't do a lot of talking. The only thing we do off air, okay, you Chiefs clown, the only thing that we do off air is talk about structure and rundown. Okay. Or if it's, something that, is like trivial, like something about the Knicks, our team, like, hey, you watching this, blah, blah. In terms of anything else, we don't discuss. We discuss all on air. When you texted me about something yesterday or whatever, and I said to you, we ain't gonna talk about this here. We're gonna talk about it on the show.
We're gonna talk about the show. It's organic, man. That's what I keep telling these people. It is an organic show. This is not something that's contrived and just thought about, from we're sitting here doing like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. points because I think those were perfect examples of people being polar opposites.
Thank you.
That's not what this is here. This is not what it is.
No, we have different sports that we agree on a lot. We disagree on a lot, but everything is organic. Everything is real. There's nothing that's fake. We didn't get together before the show. Hey, I want you to say Patrick Mahomes is better than Eli Manning. No. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna go with Eli because I'm gonna go with Eli and I'm gonna fight with you. Yeah. Like, it's stupid. I mean, listen, other people do that. That's up to them. That's not me. Okay. And that's not what I want to do. I want to discuss. A lot of times I don't even know your opinions on things. I find out on air. We got the only thing, okay, that we did discuss prior where I got your opinion on something is what we're going to discuss with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And that's only because we weren't sure if we were even going to discuss it on the show. And I said, definitely let's discuss it. And and once again, boxing isn't a focal point of the show, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, but I mean, before we get to those Thursday picks, man, before we go into the NFL picks, why don't you go into the boxing, man? You researched this.
You want to? All right.
This is a big old fight that's happening this Saturday, man. I think the people need to hear about it, right?
Okay. So once again, I only know a little bit of your opinion, and you definitely don't know mine because I just heard what you had to say. I did more research in terms of he was on with Joe Rogan's podcast, which he doesn't need any more advertisement. Okay. He's his podcast gets so much views. By the way, a recommendation, he had on Tyson Fury. Okay, so if you want to check that out before the fight tomorrow, check it out. His podcasts are like ours. They're like hours. They are over an hour. So they're very good, very informative. But I listened to his podcast with Tyson prior to the show to prepare because I knew that Swaggy wanted to talk about it. So Tyson basically said, Fury, let me say Fury because I said Tyson, I started thinking of Mike Tyson. But Fury basically said, hey, listen, what I already knew about Deontay Wilder, which was the only thing I said to Earl when we spoke about it, is he swings too wild for me. I like a guy who has his arms in, his elbows in. I like tight punches. Now listen, if you're going for a knockout, or it's UFC for that matter, and it's only 3 rounds and you're down 2 rounds, I understand swinging wildly. But a boxing match now used to be 15, now it's 12, okay? It's 12 rounds, okay? You have to be methodical. It's an art. This is why I love Mayweather. I'm going to get right into it, okay? My prediction is Tyson Fury, okay? And the reason why I think Tyson Fury is going to win is because, in the words of Bruce Lee, he is like Wata. Okay. Okay. That's how it sounded like he said water to me. He's very fluid. Very fluid in his movement. He slides in. It's kind of like a snake or a worm as a heavyweight, and you saw how Klitschko was so confused. Klitschko was the most mechanical heavyweight of this era. Okay.
And do you say mechanical in a positive way or more in a derogatory term?
Neither.
Okay.
Did I like his fights? No. Did I like him as a fighter? No. Did I respect his ability? Well, heck yeah, I respected his ability. Okay. But he was very mechanical in that he's already coming in 6'6". Jab, 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 jab. Occasional 2. He never threw a 3. He never threw a combination. He never, followed up 2-3-2. It was kind of like jab, 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 2, jab, 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 2. As repetitive as I'm saying it, is what he was in the ring. Okay? Now, Tyson Fury, he steps in there with Tyson Fury, and Tyson is flowing through his jabs and tagging him. And that's why he lost by decision. Okay? But yes, mechanical, just boring. Just now listen.
Boring like Floyd Mayweather boring, huh?
No, you went there.
Okay. Let's say that for another show.
Let's say it for another show. The reason why Mayweather is not boring is the incredible defense.
This is the violin I'm playing. Go ahead, please.
This is the incredible defense on top of it. Yeah, you gotta see see how you look.
The violin is out. Let's hear the Mayweather apologist. Go ahead.
No. Listen, okay. I was all of Mayweather's fights. I was thoroughly entertained.
You paid for those?
I was thoroughly entertained. Okay. No, I went to either people's house or
people. I want you to understand what he just said. He wasn't willing to pay his own money to see Floyd Money Mayweather fight, but he went to other people's houses to watch them.
To be honest with you, I've never paid for a boxing pay-per-view.
Whoa, okay. That's another conversation. We're going to do another episode about
that. Not another conversation. You ain't getting me to say nothing stupid. Okay, I went to the bar or I went to a friend's house who paid.
I understand.
And I watched as any other legitimate citizen watches, okay? A legitimate fan of the sport. But to be honest with you, all jokes aside, that is the truth. And I'll give a shout out. For a long time, I was going to the Spillane's in Eastchester, New York. I don't know, because they have 3 of them, Maggie's, Mickey's, and Molly's. I don't know which one is what.
Yeah.
One's Eastchester, one's Mamaroneck, and one is
Yonkers, right?
Fleetwood.
Oh, is it?
No,
Yonkers is Fleetwood. Okay,
Fleetwood's on the border, Mount Vernon, Yonkers. It's the nice area, Mount Vernon. Anyway, point of the matter is, I actually would, all jokes aside, for all of Mayweather's fights, I did attend a bar for it or a friend's house who did buy it. I was thoroughly entertained because I like defense. Okay, so. And he was just amazing. Okay, but listen, let's not get into Mayweather's.
Let's talk about this Chuck Liddell and MMA fight.
Hold on. I didn't finish. Okay, So I said I got it. The people want to hear your predictions. My prediction is Wilder is going to dodge and wait, and then get his punches in, and either win by a unanimous decision, or he's going to knock Wilder out like Ortiz did not do. What is your assessment, opinion, and prediction?
So I just want our fans to know I am not a boxing or fighting aficionado. So this is coming from a very limited perspective. It's coming from the limited amount of highlights I've seen. It's come from a little bit of research I've done. Okay. I like Tyson Fury. I like Wilder as well, too.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Wilder in 10 rounds, I think it's going to be a slugfest.
Oh,
I think hold on a second. I think Wilder in 10 rounds, and I think he's like, as he promised, a TKO. I think he's going to.
Did he promise that? Did he promise that?
He didn't promise that, but he said, I'm going to do I'm going to provide the people what they want, and what the people want is a knockout. And I listened to that. I'm talking a guy that has a 40-0 record, and 39 of those have been from KOs. I believe that man's word. And I want, and I will tell you this, I believe it just because he's got a bigger, this is the carrot in front of him, okay? Tyson Fury is the carrot in front of him. Anthony Joshua is the real guy that he's going after. Deontay Wilder knows what's on stake on this point, okay? This is a multi-million-dollar fight that he's getting right now, but the big fight is going to be Anthony Joshua. And if he gets an Anthony Joshua 1, and Anthony Joshua 2, and a 3, oh my God. This guy can make, he's not going to make Tyson money, he's not going to make Mayweather money, but he's going to make the kind of money that heavyweights deserve to make in this day and age.
Well, the reason why, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly, brother.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. The reason why that Joshua fight did not happen was Joshua. People think he's running scared. I don't know enough, but Joshua passed up a lot of money not to fight Wilder. Now, I don't like Wilder's fight going into this fight. Okay? I don't like his Ortiz performance against a 39-year-old who Tyson Fury is saying had very high blood pressure and was actually going to be scrapped from the fight prior to the fight, but he insisted he was fine and got clearance.
This fight?
No, the guy Ortiz that Wilder fought the last fight. Okay. Now the guy Ortiz knocked Wilder down a couple times, and Wilder finished him. Wilder knocked him down a couple times. It was just a back and forth, but Wilder predicted he was going to knock him out in whatever round, and then it looked like Wilder was going to get knocked out, and then Wilder finally knocked out the guy Ortiz. Now, the guy Ortiz was undefeated, but he had like 300 or something like that amateur fights in Cuba, but he was a legit heavyweight. Don't know his record. Now, you talk about Wilder's 40-0 with what, 39 knockouts, you said?
39 knockouts.
That's absolutely incredible. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
now Fury, though, is 27-0 with 19 KOs. But remember, Fury can dodge and wait and pick his punches, and he has that knockout power. Okay? So, I mean, you got to understand, 19 out of 27, that's good. That's normal. Okay? Wilder, 39 out of 40, that's not normal. Okay? That's Mike Tyson at one point. That's George Foreman at one point. You got to, Tyson, the crazy thing with Tyson at one point was he had almost everything by knockout in the first round. Yeah. Now, listen,
he was a madman. He was an absolute madman. We don't need to get on the Tyson route, but he was an absolute madman when it came to the heavyweight division. And there's nobody that's been able to follow him. We can say Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. They just didn't replicate the same kind of power and brute force that he just displayed in the ring.
You said Holyfield and who?
Lennox Lewis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I mean, those are the last.
Lennox was lucky enough that he didn't face him young enough because I don't know if you know. Now listen.
Listen. Yes, we're not going to argue that.
No. I'm just going to say that I don't know if you knew. They actually trained in the same facility at like 13 or 14 years old. It may have been 15 at the oldest, but Lewis said he knew that one day he was going to see Mike Tyson. But he said at the time, he was like, I don't want to face this guy. Yeah. Quote, end quote, he said he's an animal.
Yeah.
So he dodged, just like he dodged Vitaly Klitschko. But anyway, I'm going to hopefully air on the EnB YouTube. I'm going to, I just have to swap out a couple things, but I had a Mike Tyson documentary I put on a couple years ago. I edited it and I voiceovered the whole thing along with writing it. And now the thing was, I had some songs on there. One of them was Dr. Dre, "Keep Your Heads Ringing," or "Let Your Head," whatever, ring ding dong, that one. And
Ding,
that
ding,
one was,
ding, ding, dong.
yeah, it was a good song.
Yeah.
That one was copyrighted, and that was for the montage of Tyson ringing people's heads. Well, that got copyrighted, and another one got copyrighted, and also he was coming out with that documentary, that Toback film documentary. So I had like 100 and something thousand hits on it, but it got taken down because that documentary was coming out. Well, I'm going to re-upload it. I'm going to swap out the songs. I'm going to put it right on the Air EnB thing, so people can, on our Air EnB YouTube. So it would just be uploaded as another video so people can see. But anyway, so your prediction is Wilder. I just don't. Now listen, if Wilder starts connecting, listen, Tyson said it best. Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. They get punched in the face. Okay, so if as fluid as his motion is, as unbelievable for a 6'9" guy to be moving around like that and slide it in and out like a Cain Velasquez, UFC style, you're able to do that. Okay, but if you start getting hit, you ain't gonna do that. You can't do that too much longer.
You ain't got to plan until you get hit, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's what Tyson said. Those were his exact verbatim. That's exactly what his words were.
That's what I just said. Now,
yeah.
I know you just repeated, but I'm just busting. Yeah, I'm busting.
I know. Like I said, I'm not a fighting aficionado like you are, sir. So I defer to you on this subject. You know,
and that. I'm even better in MMA, which we're gonna get to now. I just want to say this. I forgot the fight was going on, so I saw on YouTube. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3. Now, for those who know or don't know, okay, Liddell knocked out Tito Ortiz twice in UFC when he was in his prime. Chuck Liddell. Now, I've been watching the UFC since 1998. I'll never forget it. Since I saw a video of Royce Gracie, pronounced Hoist Gracie, and Ken Shamrock at UFC 6, I think it was, and Dan Severn won the tournament, and then those guys fought in the main event, the worst main event you could ever imagine. It led to rules and this and that. Anyway, I was hooked. And then when I became a wrestler myself, I really understood what was going on, and I like guys like Mark Coleman and blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you right now, Chuck Liddell rose this sport from the ashes to what it was. For that 8-year stretch or whatever it was until, in my opinion, the finale when he got knocked out by Rashad Evans, okay, Chuck Liddell not only was indestructible, but he was the face of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, okay? And he faced Tito Ortiz, and he knocked him out twice. And I didn't like Tito Ortiz because I was a Ken Shamrock fan, and he beat Ken Shamrock like 3 times. But point of the matter is, Tito Ortiz was a bad boy. The Huntington Beach bad boy. But Ortiz was here, Liddell was here, and the growth of the sport. But, Dana White will tell you how instrumental he was to the growth of the sport, okay? To watch him at 48 years old and to think that this was actually a sanctioned fight, and he fights Tito Ortiz for the 3rd time, and Tito looked in incredible shape. For that to actually be sanctioned, somebody said to me that Tito looked like he was disabled. And I said, wow, so I'm going to use that. That just explained it perfectly. He looked like he couldn't move his legs. He looked like he couldn't even throw to stable himself to throw a punch. He threw one overhand right, but that was disgusting. And you know who put on that fight, who actually sanctioned that fight? It was Oscar De La Hoya. This was the first event under Golden Boy MMA. What De La Hoya realized is people stopped watching boxing because of the crookedness, like Pacquiao and Bradley, because of stuff like that. People stopped watching boxing, okay, and people have shifted to MMA because in boxing you had Don King and Bob Arum, and they can't agree on money, so the fights don't happen when they're supposed to happen. Case in point, Mayweather Pacquiao. Okay, fights either don't happen or don't happen when they're supposed to happen. Okay, well, UFC gives you the fights that you want to see when you want to see it. Okay, and De La Hoya understands this, and that's why he wanted to get into MMA. But he put this on because he wanted to have his first event. He wanted to have headliners. Okay. De La Hoya is a piece of garbage for promoting this. Okay. And you got to hear what Dana White was saying about him.
I heard what he said. I heard what he said. Yeah, I did. Because again, as somebody who's not an MMA.
Where's your hat? Where's your hat?
Where my hat at? Someone who's not an MMA aficionado.
While you do that, all right, go ahead. You swift it off quick.
Exactly. Right. I switched it off quickly. For somebody that's not an aficionado of the sport, I do read about it and I get it. Dana White was 100% right, and this is somebody I respect. He's made himself tremendously wealthy with creating a streamlined product with mixed martial arts. Okay, we talk about this, and you mentioned it when it comes to boxing, right? The issue with boxing is that there's so many different belts. It's the IBF, the WBC, the WBA, NWA. I don't even know all these people. Like, I don't even know these divisions in terms of boxing. So what I'm talking about is that they're not even streamlining it. There's several mixed martial arts divisions, okay? But we'll say there's one that really gets all the money, gets the eyes, gets the pay-per-views, gets the characters.
You talking MMA?
I'm talking MMA. So
no, you're incorrect on that.
Okay, there's UFC and there's Blitzforce,
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that there's only one weight class that gets the attention. I misunderstood you. The other one now is Bellator, and Bellator is actually good. Bellator is actually good. Let me click it to me right now. Bellator actually has they have Rampage Jackson. They have
how old is Rampage?
Geez, he's got to be nearing close to 40. He's still got a lot left. I'll tell you that right now. He's still got a lot left. But they have Rampage. They have, I believe they have Matt Mitrione, the meathead.
What a Bellator fight is making?
Oh, I don't know. That I don't know. Maybe, I don't even want to throw a number out there. I have no idea. I'm assuming they're at least getting 200K. At least. Okay. Tito Ortiz fought for Bellator.
I'm checking for you right now.
Oh, good. Go ahead. They also have Rory McDonald, who's a legit fighter. Who else do they got now? They have Matt. No, I said Matt. Not Matt Hamill. They have Matt Mitchell. It doesn't matter. They have a few, but and they got what's his name? Gosh, the great talker. That should have beaten Anderson Silva. He should have been Anderson Silva's first. My gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Kale Sonnen. How could I forget?
Okay, and I got some numbers in front of you. You want to hear them?
Yeah, I'm going to switch it to you. Go ahead.
All right, so Quinton Jackson, we're looking at, and this is as recent as, I want to say this is probably about a month old. So Quinton Jackson, when he beat Wanderlei Silva, won about 300,000.
Okay.
And Silva won 200,000. Okay. So not bad. But you think about like the team has to pay, Quinton Jackson has to pay his team eventually. So let's say, Quinton Jackson comes out about, 80,000 out of his pocket, and then the government takes out of there. So I'd probably say, Quinton Jackson's coming home with about, 180. 50?
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
I'll say 180, coming home. Okay. Jagard Masao. I'm not familiar with him. They both.
Oh gosh, his last name. Anyway, he's a legit fighter. Okay.
So he defeated Rory McDonald, and they both got 150,000 split down the middle.
See, that's what I thought. I meant I didn't mean to say 50. I meant to say 150 for Correct. Rampage's take home. But yeah, I think it's Masai, whatever. Anyway, those are two legit fighters that were in the UFC prior. So what people are doing is, hey, we have an issue with you guys or whatever. We're moving now. Bellator, I don't know if you know, 50 Cent is now a part owner. Okay. And he offered the guy who just recently beat the guy who I said was going to be, because it was the worst possible matchup for Conor McGregor. Okay. What's his name?
Because he's a sav, right?
Khabib was wrestling bears. But the thing is, listen. No,
I've seen the video, so I understand. But I mean, like, you're not gonna mess with a Serbian, or you're not gonna mess with a West Russian dude that's wrestling bears. Like, I'm sorry, Conor, like, you a bad man, but let's be careful, man. Like, so he needs to pick his next fight carefully. He needs to beat this next dude to keep himself hot.
Yes. And, as I try to pull up the video right now, I just want to make sure that it is I want to make sure I get that's what I thought. Stupid advertisement. And let me flip the camera back to me here. I follow USA Wrestling and everything like that. I knew who Khabib was. I knew who he's been for years. He's a savage. Okay. He's absolute savage. And it's the worst possible matchup. A guy who could take down Conor relentlessly and control the fight. Okay. That guy, he's got to knock him out inside of 3, which is what I said.
Okay. But let me the quick interjection. Conor held himself pretty well.
This is Khabib in 1997 wrestling a bear. My dude, a bear. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's some straight Russian-ish right there, man. Like,
look at him. Well, look at his age.
That's a big bear. That's not like a cub. That's a bear.
That's a bear.
That's a real bear, my G.
And he's winning. Look at his age.
I don't care. I don't care what he's winning. The point of the matter is that's a bear. I never want to see any more video of that. And if I'm Conor McGregor, sorry. I'm gonna go back to my West Indian roots. That's a bad man right there. It's a bad man you don't want to play with when he's wrestling bears. You hear me, so? Oh my God! You just took me to another place right there with that video. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. That's unbelievable. Woo! But you know what? Let's get to the NFL picks. Let's get to the picks. That, man. Picks with the point spread, and then we have one other topic that I want to talk about and show a video of, and then we are out. Okay. NFL picks, man. We finally get to it. I can't wait. Okay, so we have Cleveland at 4-6-1 at the Texans at 8-3. Texans are a 6-point favorite. I have the Texans winning by a touchdown. And hey, the Giants beat the Texans this year. We got to say that. But, Watson's doing his thing. I have Texans -6. Who you got, Swaggy?
So I will say, my brother, I will take the Texans on that 6. I will grant them that. I'm going to also say this as well too. I've had Deshaun Watson as my fantasy quarterback, and he's been balling all year.
Oh, look at you!
Like, shout out to the 9-3 team, number 1 in the division. My best fantasy football season this year. Holla at me!
Really?
For picks. Holla at me for picks next year, because I will promise you, I'm going to win. I'm going to say we haven't got a trophy or a belt. I want it to be a belt. We're going to win the fantasy belt this year. So let's go.
Is that in my former radio station league?
No.
Oh,
This is in the big money finance league that I'm in right now.
Excuse me.
Man. I got chips on the line for this one, So let's go. Let's go. Team early victory. Let's go.
Team early. Oh, that's okay. That's not a pun on Earl, right?
I mean, that was a pun on me drafting a bomb squad at the beginning of the season in the draft I see a championship happening right here.
Okay, as I do I want you to pull up your team.
Okay.
As I do the picks, and then on top of that, I just want to say that what we'll do is next year we will do a fantasy football and a fantasy basketball show next year. But prior to the season on who should be picked, and I'll tell you right now, I am great at both. Okay, I have won both a lot.
Ooh,
I'm well versed.
And okay.
Baseball.
Can we check those facts though? I mean,
come on, stop it. Listen, my record speaks for itself. But
okay.
Now
I got my team up, so whenever you're ready for me to drop some knowledge on you, go. I'll let you.
On me, yeah. No, I didn't play this year.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. This is. I don't care about the radio station. I will say I actually missed that one. I missed the draft. Again.
Wait, but you're in the radio station league, right?
I'm in the radio station one. Brett Hensed at the beginning of the show, my international traveling got in the way of me drafting this radio station team because at the end of the day, I know I was flying to friggin' London at that point. I don't even know where I was, but
you could have had me draft your team, and then you would have won first place, and then we split the money.
I know. Well, see, that was the thing. We got to talk about that for next year. But getting back to the team that I had for early victory, okay, I had the fourth spot in the draft this year. Okay, I got Deshaun Watson, Saquon Barkley, Chris Carson, Tyreek Hill. And again, my team has been resorted over time. But right now I have Leonard Fournette, Royce Freeman. I got Randall Cobb, Trey Burton, Tyler Boyd I picked up on waivers.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield. So pretty much we're talking about this is a team that has been putting up points. I mean, Baker was putting up points. Nick Chubb, I picked up on waivers 3 weeks ago. He's putting up points for me, man.
Okay.
I've actually taken an interesting approach where I'm actually rotating my tight ends and my kickers. Kickers, I will tell you, people, don't waste your picks on it.
No.
Do not waste your pick on it. And I'll tell you what,
that should be your last pick.
That tight end should be the second and last pick, man. Those aren't going to get you W's at the end of the day.
We disagree there.
I did. Let's talk about that because I will tell you this.
Who's your tight end? Who's your tight end?
Right now, my tight end is Trey Burton and has been the whole season. How about that?
How about the people who picked up Ebron if he wasn't drafted in the?
Yes. Okay.
What about
That's fine. But they picked him up. They didn't draft him.
Actually, I don't know if he would have made it. I don't know if he would have made it through a whole draft without getting picked.
That's the whole beauty. That's the whole beauty of fantasy football.
You could have got him late.
That's the whole beauty of fantasy football, right? You look at it and right.
Tight ends can. I disagree. Tight ends can win a week for you.
How?
Because they're on the goal line, they get touchdowns.
It's one position.
It's not a position that you should be devaluing.
It is a position I'm truly devaluing. If you look at it, okay, let's say I pick up a Gronkowski in round 5, okay? What's Gronk to me? Gronk gets hurt about half of the games that he plays per year, right? So I got to have a good number 2. No, I have to have a good number 2.
Or he's your best wide receiver, basically.
No, because I have better wide receivers to boot. Tyreek Hill, to me, is a better wide receiver than Gronkowski could ever be. At the end of the day, if you're not picking a Travis Kelce, and I'll tell you this, Greg Olsen was a number 1 tight end before this, right? Greg Olsen, to me, you look at his numbers, and I just dropped him from my other team, so I know this. This is all fantasy. I'm not talking about real life. I'm telling you that Greg Olsen is not worthy of a fantasy hold'em right now. He used to be a give.
What about last year?
Last year is different. I'm talking about this year, brother. It's you can't live on last year's stats for fantasy.
No. I'm just saying, tight ends. Listen, okay, you don't think Travis Kelce is worth a 7th-round pick?
Travis Kelce is worth a 7th-round pick, depending on where you are.
You think that guy is a 14th-round pick or whatever?
Oh, well, obviously he is. What my point is that. What my point is, I'm not going to risk running back and wide receiver depth for a tight end. You can only have one tight end play at one time. You can have 3 wide receivers and 3 running backs play at any given time, changing those numbers slightly, right?
No, I'm not saying that, but you were saying that it's the least value position is kicker and next is tight end.
Yeah, it is to me because there's only one of each of those positions. And how many tight ends are really affecting the game like the point of a wide receiver or a running back is? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you get one of the big boys like a Travis Kelce,
okay, so that's one tight end. Who's the other tight end after him?
Okay, what about the Eagles tight end? What about Ertz? You know what I'm saying? Listen.
Ertz is a big man. I hear you.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is after you get your 3 receivers, okay, and you get your 2 running backs and you have your quarterback, I don't think he's a second to last. I think you should be sliding in your tight end right around there.
I'll tell you this, man.
Wait, let me ask you.
Wait, hold a second. Wide receivers and running backs get injured all the time. You have to get your bench in line.
All right, let me ask you a question. Are you drafting your second quarterback before your first tight end?
No.
Okay, so then he's not second to last. So then he's third to last, you're saying?
I would say a lot of times my second quarterback doesn't even get picked up until week 3. All right? This is my strategy.
That's not bad. That's a good strategy.
Let me explain my fantasy strategy before we move on. Okay, so my fantasy strategy was pretty much this. I was picking in the 5th spot. Okay, so I let the numbers put it in front of me in terms of who I needed to. Okay, the football league is becoming a running and passing league. You need to take players that are going to have the opportunity to make points on both ends. Okay, so I have a running back and pretty much valued in all the first 3 to 4 rounds, because I'll tell you what, a running back will go down and they will, you're going to have to replace them with a quality player. Running backs are so I'm not going to say they're undervalued, but what I will say is that running backs are so necessary in these kind of leagues that you need them in order to support your team. So I drafted heavy with the running backs. I think I went pretty much the first 3 rounds of running backs. I went Saquon Barkley at 5, and then I went Leonard Fournette with my next pick in the 2nd round. So you're talking about I had Saquon Barkley, who is an absolute beast, in the 1st round. And my number 1 rule in fantasy is I never select any of my guys, but I said Saquon is going to be a hitter. So I selected Saquon in the 1st round. My 2nd round picking with the 10th pick was a Leonard Fournette. And basically what I was saying, Brent, is that I like to get running backs within the first 3 rounds. And I'm talking about like these are the main guys that are getting the ball. Like, okay. So I had Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette. Mm-hmm. I didn't draft a quarterback until about the 6th or 7th round. Matter of fact, I had Tyreek Hill as my 3rd round pick, which for me, you want to talk about value. I thought Tyreek Hill was excellent value there
who's your quarterback?
My quarterback right now and has been this season is Deshaun Watson, and I picked him up. Get this, I picked him up. Quarterback? I picked him up. He's my first quarterback, and I picked him up in the 6th round. Okay. He's been He's been bald for me. The lowest point total that Mr. Deshaun Watson has gotten me at this point
was the sack game. It was a sack game.
It's 13 points or 7.3 points. Okay. After that, the lowest, besides the 13 points he scored, and okay, I see another like slight 13 game, 26, 29, 35, 41, 24, 3, 34, 3. Those are big numbers for me, and I'll take that. And I picked up a second quarterback during the season. You can't predict how these guys are going to play. You can't predict injuries. So what I'm telling you guys with fantasy, you got to pick the numbers, man. Just go with where your draft position is and don't overdraft these guys.
See, I actually go with numbers too, and I have a different philosophy than most. My thing is the quarterback. You look from this year, last year, the year before that. Who gets the most points in fantasy? It's the quarterback. Okay? The quarterback gets the most points in fantasy. So I have and I know it's not a popular one, but I believe in quarterback 1 and running back 2. Okay, so I have 1 year ahead Andrew Luck. He had the most points. I don't see why I'm going to take somebody with less. Now I understand scarcity, but see, I don't want those types of quarterbacks like what Earl is saying. I don't want a Deshaun Watson. I don't want a Russell Wilson as my first quarterback. I want a Tom Brady. I want Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I want quarterbacks like that. Okay, now like next year, I'll be going after, and I'll tell it to, and I know some people who are gonna watch or whatever is in the the draft or whatever. I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes, next year, something like that, depending on how he finishes out the year. Do I think he's gonna finish it out great? Yeah. But another thing to that Chiefs clown, okay, we don't even know how Mahomes is going to perform in crunch time, do we? We don't know. Would you look at how great Peyton Manning was in college and in the NFL? Would you have ever predicted that he was going to be that bad of a big game quarterback as he was, based on how great of a regular season quarterback he was? No. You can't predict it. It's something you just have, okay? And Eli is not a very good regular season quarterback. But when the lights are bright, he's as good as anybody since or after. Now, we don't know. We're going to see. If listen, there's no doubt in my mind if Eli was in 5 Super Bowls, he'd win 3 or 4 of them. Period. Now, is Mahomes may be just like a Phillip Rivers, just like a Tony Romo. Okay, when he gets into the playoffs, he's not the same guy. We don't know. You don't know till he's there. We're gonna find out this year, and we can't even judge it because it's basically his rookie season. But point of the matter is, let's get back to the picks though. And let's get it started. So Denver at 5-6 against Cincinnati at 5-6. Cincinnati is a +4.5 favorite. I'm going to go with Denver again on the road. What do you got?
Same, my brother. They're playing with their backup quarterback and Jeff Driscoll. It sounds like Andy Dalton has a torn ligament in his thumb. He's going to be done for the year. I'm going with Denver pretty much.
I forgot to mention that. I can't stand Dalton. And you know what? I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
That makes me both.
Unfortunately, though, he was
Blake Bortles and Andy Dalton are almost the same quarterback. I'll tell you that.
Gosh. At least Bortles last year in the playoffs actually produced and surprised people. But Dalton, he gets to the playoffs, he's non-existent. All right, let's run through these quick. Indiana is 6-5 against Jacksonville at 3-8. Jacksonville is a +4 favorite. I have Andrew Luck and the Colts riding the wave, and it's going to be interesting to see what the rest of the season has for the Colts now that he has protection and a star at offensive line. Who do you got?
Man, it's crazy stat here, but Andrew Luck hasn't been sacked in about 5 games, man. So
yep.
I'm going to Indy in this one. He looks like he's back to his pre-shoulder injury form. And I mean, why would I agree? Why would I argue against the man? I'm going Andrew Luck in this one against and taking the points.
Exactly. Jacksonville has the points +4.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm still taking Andrew Luck. He's going to cover that spread, my brother. I will promise you.
It's a touchdown. We agree. Yeah. We're agreeing too much today. Okay. We must have.
It's contrived. It's contrived.
Hey, let's agree today for views. All right. So Carolina, 6-5 at Tampa Bay. 4-7. Tampa Bay is getting 3.5. Winston, I'm assuming, is going to be the quarterback this week. I have Carolina. They're going to cover that, man. I have Carolina. That's my opinion. I think Cam Newton and them is going to cover that. Rolling with Cam.
Interesting. I've been, just like I've been like hit or miss with Eli, I've been hit or miss with Cam. He leaves a lot of throws to me that are just undesired. Mm-hmm. Just leaves a little too many plays to me on the field. I'm going to say they lost that game, and it wasn't because of Cam, but it may have been because of poor play calling, etc. I'm still going Tampa Bay in this one. That's a disagreement right there.
Right, I like it. I'm starting to like it. All right, so the Rams, Skip Ellis, the Rams at 10-1 against Detroit 4-7. Now, I've expressed my opinion that I wanted Matt Patricia as the Giants coach. Mm-hmm. Sucks that he went to the Lions, and now we have to deal with this Pat Shurmur, who I'm already tapping out on. Detroit's getting +10, but you know what? I still think
Detroit's getting +10.
Yeah, I still think at home. I still think the Rams are going to cover. What do you got?
I think the Rams absolutely will beat them by 2 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Oh, listen.
I mean, wow.
We're in agreement.
+10 Lions? Really?
Well, you got to think about it. Once you're at home, you already get 3 points, basically. So if it was put you like this, if it was, in LA, it would be plus. It would be +7.
It would be -7 or +7 Lions.
No, all the way around. +13.
+13, got you. I understand. Yeah, no, dude. They're getting blown up by 2 touchdowns easy.
All right, so now we got Buffalo at 4-7 at Miami 5-6. Buffalo is bums. Okay, they don't even know. I mean,
what team is that? Right? It's like one. The defense has actually been pretty good. I have them in fantasy football, so I've been seeing their numbers. Their defense is really good. They've actually beat some quality teams in those 4 wins, but I tell you what, it really doesn't matter. It's still a bad team that's been able to rally around a rookie quarterback and a good defense and beat a quality team. I'm not going to say that's, basically what I'm saying is that Buffalo is not winning this. Sorry.
Why? What is up with this agreement nonsense? Okay. Don't we this is choreographed. All right, so we both have Miami in this. Even though I'm not in love with the quarterback. All right.
I'm not in love with Tannehill. We're both not in love with Tannehill.
Oh gosh.
And he just got back from injury, so that's not fair. But the point of the matter is, yes, we're not in love with Tannehill.
I'm still not in love with that, but I am in love with his wife. All right, so Arizona 2-9. Don't you? You better be careful. Arizona 2-9 against at Green Bay at 4-6-1. Green Bay is +14 favorites. Now, I'm sorry, they're a 14-point favorite. Because it's in Green Bay, I'm going to go Green Bay here.
Silly man. I'm going with the Cardinals on this one. Listen, we can split hairs and say who's better than who. I know Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Josh Rosen will ever be. And I'm not trying to demean Aaron Rodgers in terms of his game and his contributions to how great of a quarterback he is, first ballot Hall of Famer, etc. I'm going Arizona to cover that spread. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not really sure how much further those 2 teams are ahead of each other. They're both bad teams.
A lot of people are going to take that 14-point spread. I'm not. I think that Green Bay has something to prove, and they're at home. It's a different team at home. So I'm going Green Bay.
If I'm playing a parlay right now, I play those Cardinals, and I am not advertising gambling information. So if y'all
it's gonna be legal. It's gonna be legal. Okay.
I don't care. Do not bet the parlay based on what Swaggy E has to say because I am not the gambling expert.
Well, listen, if if you win, you're gonna say, "Hey, listen to me." You know what I'm saying? We might get Swaggy E hotline. All right, so
right.
Chicago Bears 8-3 at the Giants 3-8. Giants are at home getting 4.5. I have the Bears. Giants are done. They're not going to be able to handle that pass rush. I mean, return to the Mac. What you got?
Wow. You just dropped that mic on me. It's pretty much you look at it and it's like, if the Giants would have won that game last week, I would have said, you know what, I'm a big old believer in the Giants.
Same here.
At this point, I just look at it and I'm just saying, I can't bet with these guys. And it's not the peripheral parts. It's not Barkley. It's not Odell. It's not Sterling. It's a combination, man. And we could talk about this next week. Eli's just not hitting the throws he needs to be hitting, whether it's Eli or whether it's the play calling and the lack of imagination with that play calling. It's just tough for me to say that like this team can do any better.
I hear you. As highlights of the Lakers, so Mavericks and Lakers, Mavs are up 58-53 at the half. I've never seen this before. LeBron just got blocked twice, back to back. Like went up, boom on
He's
layups.
old, my man. He's old. He's our age. I don't want to put our age out there, but if you want to know our age,
we have on previous broadcasts, but we're not old.
Okay,
no,
we're old.
No, we're not old. Stop it.
Okay.
You know when you're old. You know when you're old. Now, by the way, I have 8 days away from a new birthday, but you well actually, oh no, we didn't hit midnight, but so I'm 9 days. But
okay.
You're now 34. I'm 33.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of basketball, that's old. Not in terms of life. I'll tell you why. You know when you're old? When you have, and a very, 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 very wise woman told me this. My mother said when you have less days ahead of you than behind you,
okay,
that's when you're getting old.
Okay.
We may have 50 years,
Okay.
So we're not old yet. But in terms of NBA play, is the average 30, and he's younger than us actually, is the average 30?
Just about 1 year. Let's stop.
85. Yeah, no. Is the average 33-year-old NBA player old? Yes.
Wait.
Is LeBron.
Wait. With the amount of mileage that he has on his legs.
I know.
NBA mileage. I'm not talking about.
And he doesn't show it, but he's not showing it.
I get that, but he will. Everybody's been human, dude. Like we look at Kobe,
he will,
Jordan.
But I'm saying right now he's not showing it. Right now he's showing if he has a nucleus around him, you're looking at a fourth championship. That's what he's showing me.
Okay.
Listen. Are you follow the numbers? You know what's going on. This guy, he's actually playing phenomenal this year, dude. Last year he played all 82 games.
I know. I think that's amazing. You talk about
plus
16 season,
the playoffs. Do you know that with his dude, he's been. Listen, see, I don't want to get into this, but I'm not going to. This guy has been to, let's see, 4 in Miami, 3 in Cleveland. This guy has been to 7 straight. Or was it 4 in Cleveland? Maybe
it's 7 straight.
7. All right, yeah, that's right. 3-year deal. This guy has been to 7, and he's not going to go to the finals this year, but he went to 7 straight finals. You saw it on Michael Jordan's face after 3 straight titles. Both that was with a break at the third championship against the Phoenix Suns. You saw it. You had people injured on the team. Jordan was injured. They were tired. They said they were tired. Okay, and then the third, and then he had a year and a half off, and then now you're going into a year and a half off, and now you're going into the three-peat. That 98 season, Pippen missed a lot of games, Jordan missed games. It's debilitating that amount of games. He has played the equivalent of like, two other, another season and a half in playoff games. Everybody will tell you, any NBA great will tell you, a playoff game counts as 2 regular season games, each one. But let's not get into that. But he's slowed down. He showed that defensively he can't do it as intensely as he used to for every possession. He's nowhere near finish. And that's because of what you've said before on the show. You've complimented his diet and his work ethic because you were bashing Melo in the process. So yeah.
I'm my head because I'm guilty as charged.
Thank you. All right. Now, who's your pick? Bears, Giants?
Bears.
All right.
Yeah,
so
quickly on that.
We're in agreement on that. All right. Now, Baltimore at Atlanta. All right.
Ooh.
Baltimore 6-5 at Atlanta 4-7. Atlanta is a 1-point favorite. I have Atlanta. They're just too good at home. What do you got?
So they have Atlanta as a 1-point favorite at home.
That's it. Just one. Field goal. They cover the spread. I'm not trying to encourage you, but I'm just saying.
That's a really tight spread. That's a really, really, really tight spread. So what they're saying is that they're definitely valuing the Falcons over the Ravens. I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to go contrary on this. It sounds like you went Atlanta on this one. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. I'm going to say that this is not a sustainable path for, future success for the Baltimore Ravens. But I say they kind of keep the ball rolling and they make this interesting for the wild card race. And that Baltimore wins and covers that spread.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We're going to see next week. I actually liked Baltimore coming into the season, but at 6-5, they really disappointed me. Now, Jets 3-8 at Mariota and the Titans 5-6. I think the Titans are better than their record, but hey, they had the longest game in NFL history and they lost that one. They did beat the Pats. They're a 7.5-point favorite. I still got them.
Titans?
Yeah. I still got them at home, though, against the Jets. Who do you got?
That's a ridiculous spread.
You think so? Jets.
I'm sorry.
I thought it should be 7. I'll complain about the 0.5 point. Or maybe it should have been 6.5.
So let me get this straight. The Titans are -7?
Yeah, they're 7.5-point favorites. They're at home against the Jets. They're 5-6. Jets are 3-8.
And is McCown playing or is I don't think it matters. I'm gonna say to just cover that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Darnold's got to get back on the field, man.
No, you know what? I think there's
favorite.
They're being realistic right now, right? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's happening with these guys.
Ooh, you're going there.
Ooh, we can talk about this on another. We're gonna talk about this on another show, but essentially,
no, this show.
Okay, we can talk about it on this show. But what I'm talking about is that basically what I see is that they're tanking. Whether I'm sure Darnold has an injury or not, but if they need him to win and they're in the thick of things in the wild card race, they're going to put him out there. So he's injured enough that he's not willing to play right now, which is fine. I think these guys are trying to get additional draft capital.
I think they went there. I knew you were going there.
I think they have a semi-elite defense, and even if they add a above average pass rusher, whether it's through free agency or through the draft in the later rounds. They add that on their line. I think they have a great defense that's ready for them. The problem is that they don't have the same offensive line that they used to have back in the days with the Brickashaw Ferguson and those guys, etc. Even with that said, their outside weapons aren't really that strong as well either. So Bilal Powell has been, a good on and off player for the last couple of years. Okay. But they don't really have somebody that's going to really that scares, that causes defenses to just sit, think about them overnight, right? There's not that guy that's like, oh, Adrian Peterson's coming down the pipeline. There's nobody that gives the defense fear that they say that kind of keeps them awake at night. So there's just not anybody besides Darnold that to me that just really can cause defenses a fit.
Okay. He went with the tanking. Do I think they're tanking? I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah. The team is never going to come out and say, yes, we're tanking. So I don't know, but is it a smart move? You got your quarterback. You got some defenders. Yeah, it's smart. Now, Kansas City, 9-2 against Oakland. At Oakland, 2-9. Oakland is favored by 15. I have a Rowdy B rule. Anything over 14, I do not go with the favorite. So I'm going Oakland plus 15. Who do you got? And that's not because I'm wearing a Raider hat.
This is tough, man, because I'm sitting I'm in the backyard, man. I've been an Oakland resident for the last 3 years, man. I love Oakland. I'm 5-1-0. I'm here. It just hasn't been pretty at the Coliseum, man. It's just hard to watch Gruden. I see what Gruden's doing, and I don't agree with the method. He's saying we can't sign these guys to these massive contracts. He's saying we have so many holes on this team. We need draft capital. We need free agency room. That's what we need. And I appreciate it, and it's a refreshing view. But I will tell you this, that it's been really hard to watch, as a New York Giant fan in Oakland, being able to watch all these games. I've watched a lot of these games, and they're just not in them. And I will tell you that plus 15, I'm going to take.
They're tanking.
Yes, 100%. And I'm going to take the opposition side and say KC will cover that way over.
Woo! Way over 15? Way over 15? Way over 15?
At least a touchdown over that.
Woo! Now listen, can they win by 22 points? Yeah, they can win by 22 points. Are they going to? That's a lot of points, man.
The defense hasn't been there.
I'm taking plus 15 every time. Well, listen, they got rid of Mack, and then they got rid of Cooper, as we discussed earlier.
And Bruce Irvin.
Gruden is trying to sell the owner on, hey, we have to break down. And you know who's next? After the season, Carr's gone. That's the only way he can sell it. It's the only way he can.
And I'll tell you what team he's going to go to: Baltimore.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you what team Flacco's going to go to: Jacksonville.
I'm hearing Eli in Jacksonville, but
he's going to retire before he ever moves down to Jacksonville. I will promise you that.
Why?
I think
Eli is not retiring.
I think, he's made his money. He's got guaranteed money from his contract. He just built a new house up in New Jersey. I don't think he has that much football left in him. I'm sorry.
What's the address to his? I'm kidding. No, but Eli's got a couple of years in him, and he loves Tom Coughlin. I think you're nuts. He's not retiring. He's gonna go to another team. Now let's get into it here. San Antonio 2-9 as we're in the home stretch. Okay, San Antonio. Oh my gosh, did I say that? That's because I was.
Woo! You trying to go into a whole NBA tangent with brother? You keeping me on my toes today. I appreciate that.
Thank you. No, it's because I watched San Antonio.
Okay.
San Francisco, and I wrote I accidentally wrote San Ann down here because when I was writing it down,
that's all good.
San Ann was on there.
It's all good. It's all
right,
good.
San Francisco 2-9 against the Seattle Supersonics.
Okay.
Again, against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle is going to get 10 points on this.
And so is it in Seattle as well, too?
It's in Seattle, which is why I'm going Seattle. They can definitely do that. I actually really like these guys lost Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and Richard Sherman. And I'm not saying the 13th man is back, but these boys are balling, man. The defense is holding their job down there, man.
Yeah, well, I think it's
they're only 6-5, but I'm just saying.
I think it's kind of like when you look at it, right? It's kind of one of those things where like coaches need guys that are going to buy into the system. And I think, unfortunately, what happens with football, just like a whole bunch of other professional sports, is that guys don't buy into the product anymore because they think they're bigger than the team. And I'm not saying that Sherman or Chancellor or anybody else or Earl Thomas is bigger than the team. But the point is that those guys said they walked up to the owner and said, yes, I deserve more money. I'm the top safety in the game. I'm the top quarterback in the game. Pay me as such. And I know they have a small window. I don't blame these guys. But I think pretty much what happened was salary cap management. They had to kill this team. They had to kill the defensive side of the ball. And you're seeing that they're performing with guys that kind of followed up under their tutelage. And I think it's so crazy when you look at that. With that said, it's still going to be Seattle with this win.
Earl, we have a comment on the video.
Let's go.
All right. Somebody wants to know, are you still giving out stale bagels and day-old coffee?
Woo! I'll let your boy. Well, listen, you guys are paying me extra. We'll get you fresh bagels and fresh coffee, but you got to talk to me first and come correct, you know.
Okay. All right, so let's finish up here. Wow, so you I thought, all right, so you're gonna go Seattle. All right. So now we are Minnesota 6-1, New England 8-3. New England's getting 5 points. I have Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. Minnesota's a hard team to really figure out, right? So they're kind of just back and forth. Kirk Cousins got that huge guaranteed contract. So you look at him and you think he's the guy. He's obviously better than Case Keenum. I think Case Keenum caught magic in a bottle. And he totally was the guy that, he won that situation. But they knew they were smart enough to not go ahead and give him the extra contract. So I'm glad they put Kirk Cousins. I'm going to say Minnesota in this one.
All right, so you have Minnesota as well. And, yeah, I'm not a big fan of New England this year. And, listen, the AFC, I don't know, but I think it's going to be 1 year finally without the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think the thing that helps New England is the fact that they are in a division with Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets, and that's totally what helps them out. Okay, now this game I am really excited for, and luckily for the NFL, whose ratings have been up this year. So great for the NFL, regardless of the standing during the national anthem or kneeling, whatever the heck it is, whatever side you're on. Their ratings all around have been up. And now the Sunday night game, we have the Chargers at 8-3 against the Steelers 7-3. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. I am going with the Steelers. They're going to get to 8-3. And the Steelers I can't believe without Le'Veon Bell how great they've been this year. I got the Steelers here, and I'm really looking forward to this game. But I'm not a big Phillip Rivers fan. And We'll see what he does in the big game with all the eyes on him. Who do you got? Swaggy.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah, I think we're starting to see what happens with teams when they double down on letting go the superstar, right? Okay. We get who the guys are. Mm-hmm. Le'Veon Bell was a player on that team. He wasn't the guy. They haven't won multiple championships with Le'Veon Bell. So I hear you when you look at his pure output, his production. Sure, he looks like a guy that's going to be like, he's an untouchable. But I think when it comes to salary cap management, they said, you know what? You're not going to reset this market in terms of what a wide receiver running back is going to be. You're not going to make $17 million a year. And I think you're looking at the Steelers right now, and you're looking at who their most productive player is. And I look at Juju Smith-Schuster, and it's not Antonio Brown who just got that big contract. And I will say that Juju Smith is having a great year because of the amount of pressure that Antonio Brown is taking off him. I will say that. But at the end of the day, he is able to shine because of Antonio Brown. So I think it's just really difficult for these players to realize it's like, and I take the perfect example as a Tom Brady, who isn't a guy, and I think his situation is a little different than others. Tom Brady is a guy that doesn't take the max salary, even though he should.
Nope.
Tom Brady should be taking every damn dollar from the New England Patriots.
He wants to win.
He wants to win. And the problem is, no, we can't have guys making $17 million a year and they're not the quarterback. That's the problem. And we look at it, and it's just like guys have to be willing to be outside of themselves. And also, you think about it, right? And it's like, the Patriots have been one of the teams in the league that let go of their players way before they're ready to even be released, right? Like they might let go of those players 1 or 2 years before they're ready to really let go. But the fact of the matter is that they let them go at the right time in terms of like, we're not going to like compromise their salary cap.
What about what they did with Josh Brown, man? Yo, I don't even think he's smoking and he's performing this.
Oh, Josh Gordon.
I'm sorry. Did I say Josh Brown? What is wrong with me? Yeah. Yes, Josh Gordon. Can you imagine just what they did with Randy Moss? It's unbelievable. But that's what they do. And if you don't perform in the system, you're gone. They don't care. You're gone. Somebody else will step in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Accountability and winning. That's what these players want, man.
So who do you got? You didn't say who you got. Chargers, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's getting 3.5. Who do you got?
I'm about to say San Diego, but I'm gonna say LA because that's the correct name where they play under.
All right. Now, last pick, which is the Monday night pick. Washington 6-5 against Philly, the defending champs, who will be watching from whatever resort the players are going to for the playoffs, because they will be nowhere near the playoffs. They're 5-6 now. Mm-hmm. They're getting 6.5 points. I absolutely have to go with them. I have Philly at 6-5. Washington, I don't know what's going on over there. Who do you got?
Yeah, same. And it hurts me to say that, right? Because again, as an NFC East supporter of the New York Giants, it doesn't really serve me to pick either the Eagles or the Redskins. But at the end of the day, we're looking at it, and the Eagles definitely have the better situation in terms of the better quarterback right now, as Colt McCoy is serving as the number one quarterback at this point. And we're looking at it and we're saying, the odds are pressed in the Eagles' favor at this point.
Got you. Now, the last thing of the day for the viewers out there of the evening, for the viewers there, if you did not see Kevin Durant's 51-point performance last night. Now, first of all, since according to that Chiefs fan, we contrive everything and we plan these things because we want YouTube views and we want to troll people, even though we're grown men who have time for that. Okay, real Chiefs fan clown. fool drinking malt liquor and smoking thinly wrapped brown cigars and cigarettes. Okay,
filled with whatever kind of tobacco you want to think it is.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay, this is something, this was actually something that I did hit you up about. I said, hey, turn to TNT. Durant's going off. I can't believe this. This is Reggie Miller-esque. Okay? This is Reggie Miller-esque. Turn on. Yeah. What did you see from it as I load up the video?
Let me tell you this, man. I've had the privilege and been privy to seeing the Warriors just ball out for the last 3 years. And what that means is that, listen, when they're down, they're not down. 12 points, you got 4 minutes to go. That's 2 minutes to the Warriors. That's 4 baskets. So you're talking about they have the ability to come back and just score in spurts like no other team can. Durant is by far the second best player on the planet and in the NBA, right? We can all agree on that. We're not going to have discussion whether he's the MVP discussion. Or not. There's no discussion. I think it's LeBron right now, number 1, Durant number 2, number 3. We can have a discussion for another day. I don't have anybody in that clear number 3 spot. Okay. Second of all, Durant was hitting shots that were just otherworldly, right?
So you did check it out. Okay.
I checked out the last quarter and I checked out the overtime quarter as well too. So I look at it and it's like he's just spotting up from everywhere. He's almost automatic in a way. There's nobody in the game with his wingspan and his size and his ability to move and create his own shot. We're looking at it here. I mean, guys spotting up from 30 feet. Guys,
look at that in the corner.
Yeah, pull it back up to the corner. And I was looking at that 3 and I'm like, oh my God.
And as you talk, I'm going to rewind it because
it's amazing when you look at the ability that this human has. There really hasn't been anybody with the kind of talent and the body size and body frame of a Kevin Durant. So it really is kind of like this one-off case. I still would say that he is number 2 because I think LeBron is that same person that I just detailed in my soliloquy earlier, right? It's just like you look at it and it's just like LeBron, there's nobody been besides LeBron. Nobody can get these triple doubles like he can. Nobody can dictate the pace and be strong enough and to defend all 5 positions. There's nobody been able to do that. But at the end of the day, Durant's still number 2. There's not an argument to have. There's not a conversation to have.
Who is your top 5 right now? I'll tell you what. I may have to put.
Do I have to put it in order? Can I just say? So I already put Durant and LeBron in there.
I'm going
to put Giannis in there.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to put Giannis, and then I'm going to go ahead and put. This is tough. This is really tough for me. Anthony Davis. I'm going to put him in his top 5.
Bad boy.
Yeah. Bad boy. Basically, my top 5 doesn't include point guards because I don't know. And yeah, sure, Anthony Davis and those guys haven't changed the game. I just don't know if point guards change the game as much as these kind of like big men who can just drive and just create their own shot.
You need them though. You need them.
I agree. And then Curry. So Curry is number 5. He's in the top 5. It's not ranked in any tier, but I say he's in the top 5 right now.
Now I'm going to tell
I'm sorry, maybe Kawhi, right?
Yes, that was the guy.
I'll put Kawhi
because of this game, and I'm sorry why it's stuttering. I don't know why it's stuttering. Does it look stuttery to you? Yeah,
yes,
right?
It does. Yes, it does.
I don't know why it's stuttering. It's not horrible though, but I don't know why it's doing that. But that's the shot that I had to hit you up on because he had to step in from the line. Look at that, the dunk. You may not remember this, but I'm a freak at remembering certain things, especially sports. I remember after Reggie Miller put on that performance during the playoffs, and here's the one that they were down by 3, and he got Kawhi stopped him, knocked the ball from him, and then boom, 3. I got up off my seat. That was it. I don't know, and you see Durant so smart. He looked at how much time Toronto would have. Let me tell you, you may not even remember this, and I'm going to
run it back, man. Keep running it back if you want.
I mean, keep running back. We were, obvious. Oh, come on now. We were obvious kids, but I remember the next day after Reggie Miller went off on that crazy playoff game, the Spike Lee game. Okay, do you remember the Spike Lee game? Okay,
of course I do. Absolutely.
Okay, and the next day you came in to school with me, right? At middle school, whatever the heck it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're in high school yet, and you said, "Dude, Reggie Miller shot the ball from 2 steps after that half court." You're like, yo, 1 step from the half court line. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're like, oh, it was like 2 steps at the most.
Mm-hmm.
You may not even remember this, but you were like, he just went off, and Spike Lee kept encouraging it, whatever. That is on the 30 for 30 Miller versus the Knicks. Dude, that's what this reminded me of. It reminded me of when I went back and I saw those highlights of what you were telling me the next day, because I was asleep. I was in bed. He went off like Reggie Miller went off that night in the playoffs. And I don't know, do you remember even seeing that, Reggie Miller going off like that in that Spike Lee game?
In my mind's eye, I definitely do. I've definitely tried to black out those moments. But yes, I see it. I see it back there. Out
the but that's what Durant went off. Listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. You said Durant, second best in the league, bar none. Underneath, there's your Kawhis, there's your Westbrooks, there's your Anthony Davises, and so on and so on. And, if you want to throw Karl Towns in there or whatever, there you go. Porzingis, when he's there, I get it. That tier, Wall. That tier.
Where you putting John Wall at?
John Wall's in that same tier because
what tier? Top 20 tier?
Oh, well, definitely top 20. But he's in that second tier, that Porzingis tier. I think that Westbrook is slightly above that, and then you have that. I think, put you like this. I think it's, well, I know it's LeBron, Durant, LeBron, Durant, Westbrook, Harden, Curry, Kawhi, Clay. It's that, and then you start dipping down a little bit. Then there's Porzingis. There's John Wall. There's Damian Lillard. There's that.
Okay,
but
so let's stop here. And so we're transparent for the fans. Next week, we're going to talk about who our top 30 players are. And so our fans are transparent to say
too much, top 20, too much.
Okay.
Nobody cares about top 20.
Okay, all right, let's go top 20.
To be honest with you,
let's go top 15. Let's do top 15.
Oh, you're the man. See, you took the words out of my mouth. You're the man.
Let's go top 15, right?
Top 15.
So to our fans, we're planning this, right? I want you to go back, and I want you, whether you want to put it in order, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. Yeah, we can talk about it offline. We could do a time period. I can say, let's say 1980 on to present day basketball. How about that? Let's go 1980 to present basketball, because we're not going to do the whole Will Chamberlains and all this stuff. I'm not going to do the Lou Alcindors. I'm not going to do the Jerry West of the world.
Well,
let's not do that.
Since you mentioned that,
let's not do that.
There's some fool commenting saying that John Starks is better than Durant and Patrick Ewing is better than who? Now LeBron. Who? LeBron.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you wanted to say was top 15 all time.
I
thought you meant in the league right now. If it's in the league right now, we're gonna have the same bunch. If you're talking top 10, top 15 all time.
Okay, so hold on a second. Let's do top 15 right now. Okay?
Not tonight. No.
I'm not saying tonight. I'm talking about for next week's show, and that's why I'm saying I'm being transparent. We will be researching this, fans. If you think that somehow we're talking about topics that, yeah,
to be honest with you, I think we're gonna have the same. We're gonna have the same, unless we're actually numbering number 7, number 8, and whatever. You're
talking about like the top 15 currently, or just in historical?
I'm saying if we're doing currently, we're gonna have the same combined 15. It would just be an argument over placing. Is this one 6? Is one 7? Which once again I think is whatever.
Okay.
But to end it, if we want to next week do top 15 all time, I think that makes far more sense. We can do that. Then we have discrepancies.
So what's your range? You're talking about all NBA, ABA players, all that? We're talking.
Nah, come on, just NBA. That's it. NBA.
Okay, and are we saying 1980? Are we saying 1980 on? Or we're talking about 70s, 60s on, like
all time. We can do all time.
Wow.
We could do all time top 15. Don't worry, we have plenty of time. Top 15 all time. We'll discuss that. That'll be a topic on the show. But until then, we are out from Area EnB, Rowdy B, Swaggy E. We are out. And we'll see you on the next broadcast, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Peace out.